everyone. How y'all doing this Friday evening? Let's check out the comment section already. AJ, who we already know he's here. He's going to be on camera just a second. What's going on, Frank? Shout out to Frank, who makes everything that we put out there worthwhile. But tonight, we're going to have a lot of fun on the panel tonight. So far, it's kind of open panel. As long as I can keep up with the messages on my phone. For everyone that's going to come on and kind of put, some content out there, marketing, branding, advertisement. What's up, Ro? What's going on, fam? Appreciate you guys stopping in, checking in. It's going to be a Crested Gecko night tonight. And we're going to be talking to AJ from AAA Jack, as well as Stacy from Sweet Lady Reptiles. And both of them have amazing stories, amazing personalities, and we've grown to learn a lot from them as far as their aspirations and their goals on what they want to do in the Crested Gecko realm. Also, you have to understand that everyone is different. We preach that. A lot of the times we understand that things and processes of different people may not be on the same lines of the way you or I may think, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically wrong. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically right as well. It's the difference of opinion sometimes, and I think we all need to understand that we can attain the same goal, the same outcome by going in different directions. Especially dealing with these reptiles, unless we're doing something that will harm them or is unethical. You need to understand that there's, different ways to get to that end game. But without further ado, we're going to bring on AJ first from AAA Jack. You guys have seen him up here several times, him and the family, the big family of them. They are truly amazing, and appreciate you making it tonight.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anytime. We're going to talk all their crazy Crested Gecko projects. We're going to talk about their collection and what their aspirations and goals are for this year, since it's already rocking and rolling. And before we get there, we are also going to bring on Stacy. But before we bring her on, she's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes on her business building. A lot of people, they look at Crested Geckos and even the business and hobby side of it, and I don't think it really gets the recognition that it needs, because it is a very tough business to build, to grow. But you have to take yourself serious. I know you guys probably get tired of hearing me say that, but you have to take yourself serious. If you don't take yourself serious, then nobody ever will. And this is a great point to roll this in. That is amazing. Congrats, Stacy. Stacy is with us. Sweet Lady Reptiles. Tell us just a little bit on how you started, how long you've been with the Crested Gecko, Stacy.
A year and a half. I went to my first Tinley show, 22, and I bought one gecko from Kevin. And he said, "Well, I'm going to give you another gecko too, and you can breed them." And I went, "No."
Yeah, you want to. I see with Stacy, from being around her and talking with her, she likes to know all the possibilities of things that can happen, um, and likely to happen, but she wants to know because when she faces certain issues, she gets a little scattered, but she gets scattered because she's hungry for the information. Am I hitting the nail on the head a little bit for you?
That's me.
Because that's what I sense every time. Even when she asks questions, it's not that she's in a state of frustration or even flustered. It's more of a hunger for information, trying to figure out the why. And I know that because Audra's the same way. So, so it hits home for me when I see someone getting into it and thriving for the information. Some of the answer, and that's the interesting part. Not the grandstand on the panel, but that's the interesting part of the Crested Geckos. They've been around for so long, and we are still learning new information, on them, which is really cool. It's really cool. What's up, Banna? Yes, yes, yes. It's gonna be a gecko night tonight. And Ro and Frank, everybody's in the comments. Definitely hit us up. What's going on, Exotic World? All right, Audra normally keeps up with all our comments, so I'm gonna make sure I try to get to everyone. The good gecko, what's going on? Miami Airport waiting aboard. Oh, I have fun out there, Costa Rica. What a trip! I haven't been there yet, so that's definitely got to be on the to-do list. So the way tonight is going to be, or this evening is going to be planned out, is we receive tons of questions on various platforms. Um, as well as Stacy are a part of our Patreon, and we also have a Discord, which is included in that Patreon. So we get questions up there. They ask each other questions. We gain information and education from it as well. So some of the questions we may take from there as well, but then we get direct inbox questions and emails. So we try to answer absolutely everything. But what we want to try to use is this platform to bring it to the masses. So no matter how simple a question may be, or it may actually be complicated, and you may get different answers from different people on the panel, which is the whole point of having perspectives. So, first question we're gonna jump on actually came up in our Patreon Discord on incubation. The question was, what is a good incubation temperature as well as humidity percentage? Um, I'll plug in at the end, add my little 2 cents. But as far as for you, I'll give it to you, AJ, and then you, Stacy, and then I'll close it up. What's a good incubation temperature and incubation percentage that you go by?
We try to shoot for 68 to 70. Most of the times it's like 67 or I mean 69 to 70 degrees. Humidity wise, I think we're at like 90, I think right now for our incubation.
Okay.
So we picked the lowest point in our room. Actually, it's in the basement right now because that's the coolest point we have because we don't have an incubator. But we have been doing it since last year, our first year, just to have our eggs incubate down in the basement. So
Okay.
it's been roughly good so far. They hatch around, I'd say about 110 to 120 days we get for the 68 between 70. So it's been good.
Interesting. And you, Stacy, what's your experience with the incubation temperatures and percentages for humidity?
Um, Temperatures, I bought a little cigar cooler, and so I have it set as because I asked you guys all about this. So I have it set at 70, and it goes between 60 and 70 degrees. Humidity, I don't have a humidifier, but I check the eggs constantly to make sure that the soil, the stuff they're on, is moist and damp and not too wet. So I pretty much check them every day. I freaked out when they didn't hatch when I thought they were going to be. So I texted Audra, and she's like, "No, relax, it's okay." So they've been going about 120 days or so. I thought I was expecting 90. So when they didn't hatch, I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely goes into panic mode. So our experience so far, and again, to close it up a little bit and elaborate for the people who need the information. Um, when we had it in a smaller setup inside our house, we used a spare bathroom. It wasn't necessary that we needed an incubator per se at that moment because that bathroom never really got over 72 degrees. And they were hatching right around 95 days, 90 days. Sometimes it was rare they would go over 100 days. What we have learned in this process of doing it year to year that yes, you have a good range on it, but it's never exact. So we always tell people, don't cut their eggs. Don't try to kind of get them to hatch, even if one of the siblings have hatched, before the other. Sometimes they just incubate different on their own time frame. Now in the facility, that's what we have told people. The only reason we went ahead and got actual incubators was because we wanted to make sure that we can do the environment better. Um, the environment would range because with us being in the facility, the temperature grade would, creep up and it would get warmer in the facility on days that we would work 10, 12-hour days. And we just didn't want the temperature spikes with our eggs. Since we were incubating in the same space. So that's why we got the incubators. But another cool thing about the incubators, like Stacy said, we were able to now set parameters. So we set ours to 68, and we get consistently 68, 69 inside the incubators. But the good and bad thing is both the same. It makes for a very, very long hatching season. I'm talking 120, 150 days. Yeah, for crested gecko eggs, 120 days, 150 days is not unheard of for us. We just kind of let them just do their own thing and hatch out. We have 2 separate incubators for it. And so that's also the bad part, so that's the bad part that it takes long. And the good part is that when they come out, they're pretty strong. We've actually been able to identify the longer incubation times for us has produced stronger babies. So we're always looking at that on that side of the coin. As far as the humidity, we see as high as you can get the percentage as possible without wetting the actual eggs consistently, the better. What's going on? Hey! Don't get shot. Yeah. What's going on? Yes, the higher percentage you can get, the better. We've seen it all the way up to, from 92% all the way up to 99%. And we tend to incubate everything that comes out that looks good. If it's just a flat out dud, then we don't incubate. So sometimes you get eggs that don't go full term, but they may not have been good from the start. So it's something interesting to put out there.
To add to that, I live in an old apartment and I have radiator heat. And a couple of sets of eggs that I got, because I couldn't regulate the temperature,
Right.
didn't make it. So I had to get an incubator if I wanted to start. That's what was going on with me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So for this season, any season you had, what do you project to be a normal for one specific female? Is it proven, or if she's new, what's your expectations on that female as far as egg production? Let's say she takes from that male and she starts. You think you may have for that season from that one female? Let's say, yeah, I guess you could start off again.
For one female, for us, it's because we just started our first season last season.
Okay.
So like we have roughly about 12 females coming back doing another season, and then the rest are probably first time breeding females. So
Right.
for first time breeding females, it's a slow start for them, but they're starting to produce a pair of fertiles every month now. The ones from last year are just like clockwork every 30 days. I expect at least 10 from those females from last year.
It's a good number. It's a good
10,
number.
10 sets of them from them. And then like in the first time breeders this year, I'd say about roughly 6 to 7 maybe.
Okay.
Pairs.
Basically, your projections on some of your pairings, as far as just let's say a random female, to set the average for you. What do you anticipate that female producing for you in one season?
I'm gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
Is that me?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. I kind of went about it differently. Like I said, when I got the first geckos, she was already proven, and she was already laying eggs. I hadn't mated her, so she wasn't. They weren't fertile, which kind of freaked me out. And then I got my dowels, and I put them together, and they are consistently. I have 5 babies from them right now, and they're still laying, both of them. So I've started the other pairs, and so far my Atlantics have laid 2 sets of eggs, and they're both fertile. And I'm waiting on the first pairings of about 4 other ones.
Gotcha. It's always a little touch and go with first year breeders, even second year breeders. Sometimes, especially with the females. We've so far, again, we don't know it all, but most of the stuff, you name it, we've been through it. You know, even with prolapse, all the geckos we've only had to deal with it twice. But that being said, with egg production from a female every year, we thought we were going to get consistently every single female give six sets of eggs, and it'd be like clockwork. And not necessarily. Yeah, all kind of hiccups come up through there where we ran into, like you ran into, Stacy, where you get an egg, one single egg produced for the month. And we're wondering what's going on with this female. They just one egg for 8 months. One egg. And, you know, she produces beautiful babies. And the next year, around the breed, we were anticipating her laying 1 egg, and she laid eggs. And so I'm like, what's going on? Now she lays. No rhyme or reason to it, but they very likely can lay 1 egg, 2 eggs the next. So to at least document it, so that you can kind of anticipate what to expect when you're doing the breedings. But numbers wise, we've had as little as 4 eggs for a season, and we've also had females literally produce eggs for 8 months straight. You know, we've had 2 females in our entire collection that literally laid eggs for 10 months. That for us is not normal. And we, as you would think, oh, that's awesome, that's cool. But I don't think so. I'm a little bit more comfortable with a female laying eggs 6 to 8 months. 8 months kind of the max. It's a sweet spot for us, but 10 months you kind of have a short off season where they don't really get to, how do you say, that the body to snap back the way it should from not laying eggs.
Yeah.
The issue with that you're faced, which we haven't faced it yet, how do you turn that off? You don't, because they kind of do their own thing. We did with one of those females take a season off to see what would happen, and she laid infertils. I'm sorry, and she laid infertils for 10 months. I mean, she is a 60-gram gecko, so she's doing awesome. We figured that's just how she was going. Then we had the documentation on her 4th year producing. We finally put her back in, and that year she produced 8 eggs. So she didn't give us, you know, the 10 months, 20 egg production. So we're actually happy to see that at the time. Hold on, we got a question popping in. So, generally speaking, so the question is, would you keep breeding a proven female that only lays one fertile and one infertile egg? So, my thought process, again, disclaimer for everyone listening in the comments, this isn't like a one answer fix all kind of problems. But a problem or issue, I'll say issues, because that's not really a problem. I don't see that as being a harmful situation for your crested gecko. It may just be the reproduction system of that gecko, or during the breeding, it took to one side of the reproduction system and not the other. And the only way you'll find that out is through breeding her. So if she's only laying one egg consistently and one infertile, then the other half didn't, fertilize. You can try to repair that male to that female mid-season or while she's laying to see if she can start laying two fertile eggs. But as long as she's healthy, I would continue to breed her, but I would keep proper documentation. And the reason that comes into play is because if she now has phenomenal babies through that season, you grow them out 2 years, 3 years, you have a holdback or two females, and you find out that those females are also only producing one fertile and infertile egg. You may have something going on there that you can catch through documentation. I don't know if you guys would you like to add on to that or
Yeah, last year we had one gecko. She bred for the first time and she laid one fertile, one infertile every time. I repaired her again this year with a different male, and I'm getting two fertiles like clockwork every month.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my only one, so it could just be a hit or miss. I don't know. So, but
it's happened to us, and it's happened that way with us. So I don't claim to be a scientist or biologist, but I know with the reproductive system in the crested geckos, sometimes that male kind of halfway gets the job done. They need another go at it. Pretty much. Yep. See, even William had it. We should have had William up here too. He said it happened to him seasons ago. He kept her with the same male last season and actually congrats. Yeah, so sometimes you gotta kind of stick with it. I would say for us, we haven't seen that happen with seasoned proven females. I can see it happening with maybe a second year breeder. Yes, she's proven, but it's a second year coming around. But we haven't had that happen with 5, 6, 7 year old breeder females. So it's something interesting to keep track of. It was her first season on that. Yep, definitely keep trying and keep record of it. That's what I would do. Let's see. So, question number 3. Let's see. Fun question. All right, Stacy, you're going to be up first on this. What combos do you want to see more of? Not just in your collection. It can involve your collection, but what combos do you want to see more of in the community, in the hobby altogether?
At Flora and Fauna, the big thing that I got interested in was pixels. So I got a baby pixel, and I just got hopefully a het male pixel, even though they haven't been proven out yet. So nobody's made an xanthic pixel yet. So yeah, so I'm
the brain is going. Yeah, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. I'm loving that.
And the other thing that I'm working on is I bought the highlighter, so the xanthic highlighter, and I am putting him with a Hypo C2. So I even asked Brian about it at Flora and Fauna, because what I want is hypo with light gray and the neon yellow stripe down. I just think that would be really cool.
And it'll be interesting to see how that C2 the tangerine works into that. So that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've seen that yet.
I put those two together. So I haven't got eggs from them yet, but the pixels will be a while. But the xanthic ones, the hypos, yeah.
See, you're already on your way. You're already on your way. What about you, AJ?
So I found a new love through Shinoa is the super stripes in empty bags. I want to see more combos of those everywhere, just everywhere.
Oh, yeah. We definitely be working that angle too, in a big way. Empty backs and super stripes, man. I mean, they're truly beautiful. We're working a lot on that. So we got some stuff down the pipeline. For us, definitely, I would like to see more red-based tricolors. We're big into the reds. We're big into the high white reds. So we're gonna try to move toward some red tricolors. You don't really see a ton of them out there. I would really love to see a lot more done with the tricolor reds. So it'd be pretty cool. Definitely cool. Let's see. So this was a big one. I know I said we was only going to do 3 questions tonight, but this 4th one, this will be the last one, and it's going to kind of be a little involved. So, and we'll start actually with Stacy again on this one because we watched your intro video, which we really, really love, and it kind of bases around that. And AJ with AAA Jack, yeah, I've been killing it with it as well. This is more so on the branding, marketing, promotional tip. For anyone that is in your shoes, in our shoes, or thinking about getting into the industry, what will be your first place to tell them to start when it comes to marketing their brand? As far as you, Stacy.
You guys, I've done everything through you guys. I told you that my name is from Audra.
That's freaking awesome. That's awesome.
She keeps calling me sweet lady. So I'm like, hey, well, so I showed you the name. I've shared with you my concept. I showed you my first things. You guys have been my backbone through all of this, and you have completely supported me and helped me going and keep me going even when I was getting frustrated. And so my advice is to find somebody you trust and listen to what they have to say, because you can come up with the idea, but how do you implement the idea?
Right.
You know, so what steps do you need? And being a teacher, I know I need somebody to teach me. So I can't thank you guys enough for all the support that both of you have given. And we're moving forward. So I'm really excited about that.
You rock, Stacy. Truly, you do.
Well, so do you, because I don't think I'd be where I am if it wasn't for you guys. Honestly.
But thank you so much. How about you, AJ?
I would say a good tip is just to do your research. You know, it's all out there. You can find different marketing tools out there. It's everywhere. One thing that me and Shinoa found out is just the reptile world in general. There's just so many people, that are helpful. To piggyback off of what Stacy says. Flawless. Through Patreon, just through Patreon alone. We have all those avenues through there. If we had any questions on marketing, but even if it wasn't for the Patreon, there's still other avenues out there.
Absolutely.
You go to a reptile show, there'll be tons of breeders there who are willing to listen to you. If you have any questions or anything like that, it's all out there for you. I would say just to go out there and just put yourself out there.
And that's one of the things that you guys especially is really known for. You guys attend so many shows. You bring family out, you rep the brand, the merch. I mean, you come bearing gifts, you participate in the industry and the hobby. giving out awards. You guys really go above and beyond to brand yourself, not just that, but also participate. The inclusive hobby it needs to be so it can grow. Audrey and I, we spoke about that at the beginning. You know, that's been the main initiative, the push for the shows. When we do the shows, we are not anti-shows at all. We love the online. We have to have online presence because you can just reach more people. It's just plain and simple. You can reach more people. But sales, when you generate sales and revenue, it allows you to be able to go out on a limb and do certain things, venture off. If you don't have the revenue backing, then that means that every time you vend a show, you need the revenue to come just from that show. You never really want to put yourself in that situation. You want to do a show so we can go, we can have fun, we can sit, actually all three of us, we've sat and enjoyed dinner. You know, you're not going to be having a moment within a moment, meaning and it be negative. So you're there, you're thinking about all the moving pieces of the show, travel, you know, hotel, expenses, being away from home, making sales, not making sales. None of that is going through the brain if you take care of that at home first. So if it's taken care of home, now you can go, you can actually enjoy yourself, you know, and have fun. Make the main thing be the main thing, but at the same time, you can network, you can meet and greet, literally have a blast, and all of it is under the same platform of promotion and marketing your business. As far as for us, what we've seen out, we seen that it's a healthy supply of negativity already out there, and it's not to harp on it. I'll speak that just this little small piece, but I feel like together as a community, we can overcome all of that. Honestly, some of that negativity is by mistake. What I mean by that is some things are misunderstood or lost in translation. We all get on our phones and on the computer and things. Some people, you know, make responses and comments to be, you know, mean and vindictive. But some responses are just taken that way and not meant. and it's because, you know, just like this, things will be taken differently if I'm seeing and saying it versus me putting it actually in a message online and it being taken out of context. So when more face-to-face conversations can be had, I think a lot better communication can be, you know, translated from that and understood, which betters the industry as a whole. Because that's the only thing about business, human nature. It's human nature that you get in a funk and a negative mindset when you're not doing well. So if you mix the totality of circumstances of vending, going across town, you're not really having anything else going on backing you up because you didn't do the work away from the show, then it adds a lot of stress to that one specific moment. And actually add insult to injury. Imagine that one specific moment you got a 7 or 8 year old kid coming up to your table, you know, adoring your animals, loving your animals, and you are just completely spaced out, thinking about all the moving pieces because things aren't really going well. You're going to lose that opportunity to bring that young into the industry. So that's what we think about when it comes to branding. We kind of use everything to hopefully add to the positive side of it because it's so much easier just to be helpful, you know, just to be helpful and inclusive. Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
Idea by you guys, and then at March Tinley, I went around and asked the different vendors, "What do you think about this idea?" And none of them said, "Oh, this is a really bad idea." So that was, I mean, and then I'd come back and I'd talk to you guys, and then I'd go out again. So that really helped solidify and validate what, you know, the area that I want to go to and how I see it going forward. So that was really good.
Absolutely. And we're going to bring you back on for your session as well, because we're going to elaborate even deeper on that so you can roll out with your whole game plan. And we have a very specific session for you. So it's going to be really, really cool. But to add on and piggyback to what you said, that's a great example. Sometimes people think, why is this breeder giving me this information? There has to be an angle to it. I don't think that way. Audra doesn't think that way. In this industry, in this hobby, I think there's so much room for passionate breeders, keepers to prevail. And the reason I say that is because it's not easy. It's not one of those things where all right, I got the blueprint, this piece of cake. It's not one of those things. There's so much stuff that needs to be done behind the scenes. Once you're done with all your animal care, all your animal love, spending time with your animals, feeding and cleaning and doing all the logistical work, then you got all that same stuff with your social media, with your marketing, with your promotion. So if you don't have a true love and passion for it, you can have the blueprint and you still won't make it. So there's no reason to deter anyone, especially if you see someone has that passion, has that hunger. Give them the information, educate them, and hopefully, they'll be vending next to you or you'll be on their live. As you guys see, we jump on everybody. If they're sending us an invite to say, hey, I'm on it. There's no competitors, no true competitors. And what I mean by that is we constantly, even with Brian, Altitude Exotics, love Brian to death. I talk to him on a regular basis. A lot of the time, we're not even talking about geckos. And if you think about it, you're saying, you're in the same lane. Are you competitors? Yes, we are, but in a different way. And we look at it differently. It's more of a motivational factor. It's not a competition where we hope you do bad. It's a competition like we hope you do very well. And then we're hoping you set the bar so we can say, how can we be creative in our own lane and meet that bar? So it's a healthy competition. You need that. I think where we all go bad as human nature is where you have that negative thought process. You don't need that. You don't need that negative side of it. So I think that's the most important thing on branding and marketing and even promotion. Just putting yourself out there on the limb. That truly, whatever you put out there, the energy you put out there, will get back.
I think seeing you guys work together and supporting each other, and I gotta admit, I benefited from that when you guys did the 50% off.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think that's good for everybody to know that it's not competition all the time. There's no reason why we can't work together and support each other.
Absolutely, definitely. But we'll wrap it up. We actually, as short as this was, we've been up here almost 40 minutes. That time just flies by. But for everybody that tuned in and is watching in the comments, we are truly going to make this a regular. I'll do it bi-weekly. Do it on our Fridays, 8 p.m. Next time around, we're going to get Audra up with us. She's doing more logistical work in the vaccines. Because, hey, things got to get taken care of no matter who. I opted to take the fun time, and, Audra is actually doing the hard back-breaking work in the behind the scenes. So definitely show her some love. Here for me. But, love you guys. And 2 weeks from today, we have a list of questions that everyone's asking. We respond to everyone, but again, we want to put this out here for other people on the panel to be able to answer in their own way. Maybe they'll throw a light bulb for us as well, where we didn't think of something that way. And I don't know, we'll continue to show our love for everyone that's out there. We really, really appreciate you guys. And that's pretty much it. So,
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. You guys are very welcome. Tune in 2 weeks, guys. Later.